And that song and that lead up music comes from Next Halen, the best damn Van Halen cover band of all time. That was brought to us by one of our loyal listeners. Johnny Johns is a part of Next Halen. Check them out online if you want to. They do a lot of numerous shows in and around Texas, Oklahoma, and Louisiana. Now, I just wanted to come in here today and talk about Alabama football for a little bit, the surprise quarterback situation that we have at Alabama. John Christopher's already in the house. What's up, brother? Let me go ahead and bring that up for you guys right now. But before we get to all that, I am going to give a Four Horsemen shout-out. The Four Horsemen shout-outs go to Sigma, The Bomb, Killer Breeze, and Sean James from out up South Road, ready to go. And they're going to help us with today's special lunch time special. Never done a lunchtime special before. Just thought I'd jump in here real quick and just see how it would go. I'm always trying new things. You know me. Always tinkering with something. I'm a curious George type. Because this is the home of the Common Joe and the Common Sound of the Know. Even more so than all those media talking heads. Now, I'm going to talk about Alabama football, but I'm also going to give a random short video of the day that people send me. And it's a little bit of a political angle, not really sports, but I like to mix it up a little bit, as y'all know. But let's go ahead and this ain't the one. That's not the one. All right, here we go. Go ahead and pull this up for you guys and gals out there. What are y'all having for lunch today, by the way? What y'all having for lunch out there? Any good lunch specials today that y'all can tell me about that I might could partake in if I'm ever in your city? Here we go. Get this dang commercial off of here. All right. Says unexpected. This comes from Athlon Sports. And I get Athlon's football books every year. They're the Bible of college football. Unexpected contender reportedly emerges for starting quarterback position at Alabama. The quarterback room has yet to be settled for the Alabama Crimson Tide. Reports suggest redshirt junior Ty Simpson and true freshman Keelan Russell are the top competitors to start under center for Alabama. However, according to reports from 247 Sports' Mike Rodick on the Paul Feinbaum show, the Tide has a third quarterback who is heavily considered to lead the SEC program in the 2025 football season. Austin Mack. This is his third year with DeBoer. He was at DeBoer previously, just deviating from the article here for just a second. Austin Mack was with DeBoer before he came to Alabama, so he's been in DeBoer's system actually longer than Ty Simpson. They're fixing to expound on that. That's the big thing people may forget is that Austin Mack, who is the most experienced within this system, as I just said, because he was at Washington and with Kalen DeBoer for 1 year. And you go on down here, and it says the other thing with Mack, he's just physically bigger than the other two guys. He's impressively big for a quarterback. He brings something a little different to the table than what Ty and Keelan do, just from a size standpoint. He's 6'6", 236 pounds. That's big. That's huge. That's a big old boy right there. I mean, not try to hit him. He may not be the most mobile, but if you try to hit him, you might get hit back yourself, right? It's got that Cam Newton sort of build, that could really take over a college football game. Maybe not so much in the NFL. Mack is a former four-star recruit who committed to Washington as a part of the 2023 class. He followed the board to Alabama after entering the transfer portal. In a report from 247 Sports about the quarterbacks from the 2025 recruit class, it's believed that Keelan Russell will redshirt, leaving the quarterback competition between Simpson and Mack. So that's big, 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 big news right there coming from the Alabama camp. Athlon's is a pretty reliable source, so, I mean, he may not start, but it's a pretty big old boy. And he didn't just come down here to sit on a bench, I do not think. Fred Bagley is now in the house as well. Says, howdy, Outlaw. What's going on, brother? Haven't eaten lunch yet, but I'm thinking about a bologna and cheese sandwich. There ain't nothing wrong with that. Get you some fried bologna. Fried up, Fred, fried up. Let me position this camera a little bit better for y'all so y'all don't have to see my ugly mug as much. There we go. All right. Well, now, there is another article here that I would like to show you guys and gals out there, also related to this situation. I can bring it up for y'all real quick. All right. I need to get a little bit faster with this, don't I? All right. Can y'all see that? Here we go. Ryan Grubb speaks on return to Alabama in quarterback competition. We don't want to talk about the men's basketball. Ryan Grubb on Ty Simpson, Keelan Russell, and Austin Mack. Keelan is awesome. Grubb said he's very inflammable, even when things don't go right. They will invariably for a freshman quarterback. I think he's done an awesome job of staying the course and being very steady. He can make a lot of plays. Keelan, how does he compare to other quarterbacks that Grubb's coached? It's been a while, Grubb said, but one thing's, how's it been a while? It's only been a year since you've been in college, you goof. One thing's I noticed, I think about Jake Hayner way back at Fresno State. He's at the Saints now. Jake had a real whippy, quick release, that tongue-tied. Once he made his decision, he was very decisive with the ball. I see that in Keelan a lot. And then Keelan's vision reminds me a lot of Michael Penix. He has a good wide vision with the field, and he can see it even when he doesn't exactly know what's going on. He's still working through all the processes, but he will get there. He is a good player. Ryan Grubb will be an aggressive play caller, he says. How would he describe his style as a play caller? Aggressive. Grubb immediately answered. Then he explained further, we're going to be aggressive. Grubb continued, we want guys, I think, that when it works out the best. The understanding that the players have that we got to be responsible with the football, not go backwards, make sure we're always articulating the ball downfield, but then be ready for an opportunity to take a shot. Will Ryan Grubb run the ball at Alabama? Guys want to be physical. Right now, we've only had 2 practices with no pads, so a little tough to assess that, Grubb said. I think just a commitment to that in general and mentality here at Alabama, I think bodes well for that. Guys want to be a physical type football player. For us, we're pretty wide as far as the type of runs we run. We just like we always have been. We're going to see inside, outside zone, power, pin, pull, fly, sweep, all the stuff we've always done. I don't think any of that stuff from that standpoint will change. I think the guys know to win the late games and the playoffs and things like that, there has to be a mindset and demeanor that you got to be able to run the football. Well, hallelujah on that. So what do y'all think about that? Charles Everidge is in the house. He says, howdy, Outlaw. What's going on, Charles? Just trying a little something different today. Just decided to come in here and try to do a little lunch special for everybody. Give y'all a little something to listen to while you're eating your cheese and bologna sandwich, like Fred Bagley. But it looks like Ryan Grubb, and a lot of people have told me this around here. You know, I'm real close to the program out here. I live in Tuscaloosa. Work with a lot of people out here at Bryant Hall and other things. I also do Uber on the side. So I hear and see a lot of things, and the rumor has it that Ryan Grubb, it literally is not political speak when he says that it's an open competition quarterback, because although Ty Simpson has technically been here longer than anybody, Austin Mack has technically been longer with Kalen DeBoer. So everybody's talking about the great 5-star freshman Keelan Russell and Ty Simpson, and they've all forgotten about Austin Mack. That's a big forget. A big forget. You can't forget somebody's 6'6", 236 pounds, and it looks like he has the moxie of a Michael Penix, maybe crossed with hate to say this again, Cam Newton. But yeah, there could be a big surprise in store for Alabama football coming forward with the fans who think it's already tied up for Keelan Russell. A lot of people want Keelan Russell to start. That's the way fans are. They always want that big star to come in and immediately start. But sometimes it's a better thing for them to sit on the bench and learn a little bit instead of just throwing them to the wolves and just basically stunting their growth, in my opinion. What do y'all think about that? Now, I was going to show y'all something. It's this is my random short of the day that was sent to me by a few people. Let me get it pulled up for you guys. Here we go. All right. This is my random clip of the day. It's sort of a political clip that I felt like I wanted to share with you guys, something that really pisses me off a little bit about Joe Biden. And before anybody gets on here running their mouth saying, oh, you just another MAGA guy, blah, 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 Trumpster. I'm not MAGA at all. I used to be a registered Democrat. I'm just a smart enough guy to know that you don't need to be going by party label loyalty. I'm not Democrat or Republican. I'm just a real American. So here we go. See if y'all got that up. There it is. Here we go.
As a woman, I have gotten to know Alexis Nungary from Houston. Wonderful woman. Last June, Alexis's 12-year-old daughter, her precious Jocelyn, walked to a nearby convenience store. She was kidnapped, tied up, assaulted for 2 hours under a bridge, and horrifically murdered. Arrested and charged with this heinous crime are two illegal alien monsters from Venezuela, released into America by the last administration through their ridiculous open border. The death of this beautiful 12-year-old girl and the agony of her mother and family touched our entire nation greatly. Alexis, I promised that we would always remember your daughter, your magnificent daughter. And earlier tonight, I signed an order keeping my word to you. One thing I have learned about Jocelyn is that she loved animals so much. She loved nature. Across Galveston Bay, from where Jocelyn lived in Houston, you will find a magnificent national wildlife refuge, a pristine, peaceful, 34,000-acre sanctuary for all of God's creatures on the edge of the Gulf of America. Alexis, moments ago, I formally renamed that refuge in loving memory of your beautiful daughter, Jocelyn. So, Mr. Vice President, if you would, may I have the order?
And that's exactly what I'm talking about with Biden. Like I said, I used to be a Democrat a long time ago. Not anymore. That party's been hijacked by a bunch of liberal spastics, a bunch of people that are perverted, people that only go by party label loyalty, and they're basically screwing themselves. They're making it and forcing people to vote for Republicans because it's the lesser of two evils, right? I wish there was a third independent party that I could vote for, but the way our system's set up, it's very hard for a third party to gain traction and to be able to get on stage and debate with the two bigger parties, which is sad because this country wasn't never meant to just be a two-party system. Back in the George Washington days, I think he was the one that said that just having two parties would lead to a corrupt situation. And as you can tell, that's the way it is. Because Biden, he's a horrific person. I wouldn't care if he was Democrat or Republican. I wouldn't care if the guy was from the rings of Saturn. he's just a piece of shit, man. He allowed all these illegals to come in here just to try to garner more votes and to, basically steal elections, which is what he done, in my opinion, last time. And like I said, don't come in here trying to label me as a Trumpster or a MAGA, because I'm not. I'm just a real American. But if these Democrats couldn't even stand up and clap for that shit in the Congress, they wouldn't stand up and clap for anything that was actually right. If Trump said it, they weren't going to clap for it, which is a big load of dung. And that's why I can't support the Democrats anymore, because they're all about party label loyalty. They're not about what's right for America. And while Trump has his quirks and has his some things about him that I don't like as well, if it's something that's right, like what you just saw, then why not do it? You know it's wrong to let a bunch of damn illegal people in here. People are with criminal records. So why are you doing it? Just because the Republicans or Trump said that you shouldn't? I mean, I got plenty of people I don't like. But if they tell me something that's good for me or right for me or something that's going to help me or keep me from hurting myself, even though I don't like them, I'm probably still going to listen to them. If I had one of my enemies tell me, you know what, you don't need to drive your car out there in front of that semi truck. What am I going to do? Drive it out there in front of the semi truck just because they told me not to? That's what Biden and them jackasses do. The liberal spastics and cowards that hijack the Democratic Party. So y'all can all KMCA. Y'all got this little girl killed, man. Yeah, y'all did. But just wanted to come in here real quick, like I said, and share a few things with y'all and touch on a few things about Alabama and college football. Y'all got any questions for me today? Drop it in the comment section right now, and I'll try to answer them before I get out of here. Also, seems like they're going to try to put some rules in place next year. I've talked about this ad nauseum, where they're going to have some revenue sharing and that kind of deal for the players. So maybe that'll curb some of the enthusiasm back into college football, because right now, the way it is, college players can just leave in the middle of the year. And it makes me not want to watch college football. And that's sad, man, because I love college football. At this point, you might as well watch the NFL, because at least they have rules in place where their players can't just up and leave in the middle of the year because they get a wild hair up their ass and decide that their coach hurt their feelings. That kind of deal. Appreciate that, John Christopher. That's the best compliment that anybody could ever give me, is that I'm a real American. And like I said, that's all I care about. There's plenty of corrupt Republicans out there too. They tried to undermine Trump in his first term. So it ain't just Democrats. It's Republicans too. And that's why party label loyalty makes for corrupt loyalty. And there should not be any party labels. Let's just go back the way it was in high school. We just had 3 or 4 candidates for class president. Then if it was close, the top 2 would go to a runoff. And then you have your class president. And nobody had a party label loyalty put on them. But there'll always be corruption like that in politics, regardless of this party label's not, most likely, John. Harvey Johnson's in the house. What's going on, Harvey? Good to see you up in here, brother. Well, all right. Just wanted to come in here real quick and give y'all the rundown of that situation with Alabama and touch on a few things, and I've done that. So I guess I'm going to get up out of here. Appreciate y'all dropping in here and hollering at me. Robert Bacon's also in the house. Robert Bacon says Trump is a businessman, not a politician. Well, that's a good thing, I think. Don't you think so, Robert Bacon? Me and Robert Bacon's sort of the same. Robert Bacon is not a huge fan of Trump. He's not a Republican. I don't know. He may be a Democrat, but he may be like me in the fact that I haven't went and unregistered yet, but I'm basically not a Democrat or Republican. I'm an independent. All I care about is what's right by our country, whether it be America or whether we expand and take over Canada and Greenland and Iceland and Denmark. I'm all about what's right for our country and our people. Charles Everidge says they came up with an NIL and transfer portal to stop Nick Saban because nothing else could. That might be correct, Charles. I never really thought of it like that, but you might be right, because as soon as that stuff started trickling in big time, Saban got the hell out, because he saw, I guess he could see the writing on the wall. I mean, why even bother recruiting high school players at this point? You know, I was of the cloth like Killer Breeze, that you can't really build a team through transfer portal. You need to go through the high school ranks to build. But now I'm starting to change my mind a little bit, because now you get these high school players, they come in here and they stay a year, maybe not even a year, they stay a half a year. Excuse me. They stay a half a year and leave. So what's the use of even recruiting them? Because then you have to re-recruit them next year. You might as well just do everything through the transfer portal, because they're not reliable. Their word is not good. Their word is not gold. That when they sign a letter of intent, they're not signing anything that's holding them to a contract of any kind. You know, they don't have a set-out rule anymore. If they had that set-out rule, it'd probably deter some of this bullshit. But what's the use even recruiting high school players at this point if they're just going to transfer out? If you're a blue blood program, let them go to some other school and be like the AAA system in minor league baseball. Watch them for a year, and if you like them, bring them up. It's a farm system. It's basically what it's become. College football is a farm system. You have tiers. You have the power, really the power two, the Big Ten, the SEC, Power Four. I'll go ahead and say Power Four. And then you have mid-tier colleges like Conference USA, the MAC, Mountain West, who have players that end up being good, but they're so good, then you're going to have Alabama and Oklahoma and USC and Texas and Michigan and Georgia coming in and taking them away from, say, a Colorado State or a Fresno State, someone like that. So until they get some – I hope they really, really try to make this to where it's a little bit more fair and not so wild, wild west, because if they don't, like I said before and like I've told many of my friends, I'm just going to start watching the NFL, because at least in the NFL, they make them sign 2 or 3 year contracts, and they can't just tamper with your team in the NFL. So they should be made to stay at the program they signed for. Yeah, what's the meaning of like signing a letter of intent if your intent is not to stay? Sort of asked backwards, right? Trump answers to no one, I think you meant to say. Trump doesn't answer to anyone. That is why they don't like him. If they cannot control you, they are scared of you. That is true. You might win 1 year with the portal, but I think you still have to recruit well to be consistent, but there are limits on the movement. Yeah, I guess you could be right about that. All right, guys and gals out there, I appreciate you jumping in here with me for this lunchtime special. Like, share, comment, and subscribe to this channel. Also, if you want to join the Outlaw Posse like Fred Bagley, he's got his badge, he's deputized. You're going to get a random 4 horseman shout out like those guys did earlier, as well as possibly the comment of the day on the actual podcast. You can join the Outlaw Posse for $2.99 a month. That's just 75 cents a week. That's just a half a bottle of water for the Outlaw. You can do that. But like I said earlier, the big 4 are all free. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. Subscribe is most important. And share me out to your friends. KMCA to all the other teams. Class is now officially dismissed.